Ready?
Yep.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll now call the meeting to order. Wednesday, October 29, 2025, a regular council meeting. We acknowledge that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Administrative and procedural issues 2.1, approval of the agenda. The recommended motion is that the agenda be approved as presented. And before I say that, there is one small change to the agenda under information items at the very back. And it will be numbered 7.00. And it will come in front of council recognition, and it will be, the topic will be the Spring Hill Post Office. Okay? You have another one?
Yeah, just under recognition, 778.
Yep.
I'd like to
7
recognize them.
1, 2, Councillor Redmond.
7.13.
1, 3, sorry, there we go. Councillor Redmond. Okay. Now, any more changes or additions? No, we're good? Okay. Motion that the agenda be approved as presented, please. So moved by Councillor Lee, seconded by Councillor Telling. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? The motion is carried. Thank you very much. 2.2, declaration of conflict of interest. As per the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act, members are required to declare a conflict of interest prior to any discussion on the matter. 2.3, approval of minutes. The motion is that the minutes of the September 17, 2025 regular council meeting be approved. Moved by Councillor Strong, seconded by Deputy Mayor Gould. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Business arising, 2.4. Our CAO will lead us through this. Go ahead, Mr. Herrick.
Thank you, Your Worship. Business arising is at pages 10 and 11 of Council's information package, as is normally the case. There's a couple of lots of it. One is from the most recent council meeting, which was on September 17th, and then the second page is items that are ongoing. So most of the items are complete from September 17th. The only one that still is in progress is the demolition of a building located at 1703 Highway 242 in River Hibbert. Oh, there's another one there as well, 103 Water Street in Pugwash. Director Cole is off on medical leave, and so we do expect him back in the game in the next, by the end of the week. So if there are any questions, we'll endeavor to get answers when Al gets back to work.
Anyone have any questions on this? Seeing none, continue on, Mr. Herrick.
Okay, thank you. The second component is the ongoing action list. Most of these items are still in progress, and we've talked about these a bit before. The title search and process of trying to divest of 12 Clark Street in Spring Hill, and that we're still having issues there with respect to title and survey, and so I would suspect that we'll probably bring a recommendation back to council in the fullness of time here that we do want to abandon that process given the complexity, but we're not quite there yet. The demolition order for 191 McGee Street is still in progress. I think there's been some progress made on that property, but it's not completely carried out. The building is down. There continue to be some materials on site, and I know that Director Cole and his staff have been looking at that. The designation of the Swan Creek Protected Wilderness Area lands is still ongoing. We await, this has been ongoing for many months, we await correspondence from the province to get that done. The termination of the lease and the go-forward plan for Cape Dore. The lease termination obviously is complete, and I have met with Ali McCormick and a number of staff people who have been involved in some recommendations for the future, so we've reviewed those and we'll bring those probably to council in November. Demolition of 2 South Street in Spring Hill up to this point was in progress, and we have vacated that order. We have abandoned that initiative at that point, and we'll be starting over with a new process. Demolition of 3276 Highway 2 in Parsboro is still in progress. The last 2, 7 and 8, are at second reading of a couple of bylaws. Those both relate to the intermunicipal agreement between the town of Amherst and the county of Cumberland with respect to the mutual boundary change application before the Nova Scotia Regulatory and Appeals Board, and are contingent on that approval happening. When that approval is in place, we would expect to then bring second reading to council's agenda. We are awaiting, at this point in time, the decision from the board on whether there will be a public hearing on that mutual boundary change. There were a handful of residents in the Brookdale area who had submitted letters of, we'll call them letters of dissent, with regard to the mutual boundary change, and I know the board is considering whether to order a public hearing or whether they'll proceed without the hearing and considering the written submissions. So that's the business arising. I'm happy to answer questions on any of that.
Any questions from anyone? All good. Thank you very much, Mr. Harrop.
You are welcome.
2.5, public hearings. We'll have a public hearing on the agenda today. So I will now call or advise that the public hearing is being held in accordance with Section 51 of the Municipal Government Act, and I will now call the public hearing to order and call on Director Glenn Boone of Development and Planning to lead us through this. Go ahead, Mr. Boone.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good afternoon, all. This matter is really a simple land transfer, but it requires a process under the Municipal Government Act. So some key items, your report in the package is a little bit more detailed, but I just want to go through some brief points here. Several discussions with both provincial and federal departments have occurred over this particular property, which was originally acquired through the Canada Nature Trust program, and we've now been working with the Nova Scotia Nature Trust program on similar types of lands and bringing them into protected wilderness areas. The lands originally acquired were part of a larger trail project that did not proceed, and staff felt that the best place for these protected lands was back with the federal government because they had expressed some interest in doing such, and it allows the expansion of the protected wilderness area, which we really know as the Shinnecoa Bird Sanctuary. Lands were acquired through the program that was funded by federal monies. The public hearing today was required under the Municipal Government Act as per the assigned value. So these lands were acquired using federal funds at the time and through a program that staff were engaged in, and we still are. But because of the value, when it was purchased, it was $20,000. The Municipal Government Act requires if land is going to be sold or transferred that's over $10,000, it requires a public hearing. So therefore, that's why we're here today. This public hearing was duly advertised under the Municipal Government Act. It was advertised on our website. Our communications officer, Mr. Cole, also put it on social media, and we re-advertised this in advance of today's meeting, just to make sure that the public was aware that council was considering this matter. Municipality would like to transfer lands based on environment and climate control. Our Climate Canada would be covering survey and legal costs. In your package, you can see there's a letter from the department saying they're interested in doing that. That letter's more recent, but we had emails in the past expressing that desire. But also, they have actually gone forward and conducted the survey and created a legal description. So if you look at the package, that information was there for the survey and the location. So, so location-wise, just to put this in perspective, heavy outline in black is the PID that was acquired. It was originally acquired using an instrument of subdivision, so it was a sketch. Federal government requires full surveys to do that, which is why they've done so. You can see it's immediately adjacent to the green area in green, which is the protected wilderness and the sanctuary, which has the name Glen Sanctuary, but that's not named after me. That just happens to be the first time I knew it as that name, but it's okay. I have my own sanctuary to hide from. Anyway, so next slide, Peter, please. So if you're looking for me, I might be in there somewhere, but probably not why your worship's duck hunting, but you can't do it in there anyway, so.
I'll note that it's a place for the birds.
Yes, exactly. Just quickly, this is just a detailed survey. It's a bit of an eye chart, but just to show you that the federal department has already gone forward to do the survey. I told them, you know, basically, until this went forward with council, they were doing that on their own accord, so no cost to the municipality. Next slide, Peter, please. Just the letter confirming their interest, so it was official, so council knows that if we go through any more process. Before I brought this forward to council, I wanted to make sure we had that confirmed in writing. So, Your worship, the public hearing is the presentation today. Happy to answer any questions, and I guess we should talk about the process, because I jumped the gun there, so,
All
sorry.
good. Thank you very much, Mr. Boone. So have there been any submissions received on this, as part of this process?
We didn't receive any phone calls or submissions, your worship, and I'm not sure if any member of the public has come today to speak on the matter.
I'm not seeing anybody that I don't already know, so. Okay, good. Any questions from council? Seeing none, I'll now close the public hearing. Thank you very much, Mr. Boone.
Thank you, your worship. Members of council.
Turn the page. There are no strategic priorities issues for today or major organizational items. Organizational policy and bylaw items, 5.1. Land transfer of PID 25066-788 for inclusion in the Shinekto National Wildlife Area. Director Boone, you have the floor.
Thank you, worship. Feeling a little like Bill Murray, and you can all laugh if you understand why I mean that, but. So your worship, as just explained in the process, there's no slides on this particular report. The details are in your package. We were prepared to speak to any comments that we would have received that would have either been in the report or would have updated you today. And where there's no public speaking today, I don't really have many more comments than actually the package on the transfer has an official recommendation that was discussed and set up and worded with our CAO. So I bring it to you, back to you, your worship, unless there's additional questions on the motion and more detail required from council.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boone. The recommended motion is, whereas council considers the transfer of PID 25066-788 at Amherst Point to Environment and Climate Change Canada to be managed as part of the Shinekto National Wildlife Area to be beneficial to the municipality. Therefore, be it resolved that council approve the sale of the said lands to Environment and Climate Change Canada for $1, contingent upon Environment and Climate Change Canada absorbing the legal, survey, and executory costs of the transaction, and that the mayor and CAO be authorized to execute the necessary documentation. If somebody would be so kind as to move that. Moved by Councilor McCormick, seconded by Councilor Lockhart. Any comments or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Thank you very much. 5.2, second reading, bylaw to amend the land use bylaw 25-10 to rezone a portion of PID number 25127630 adjacent to 3999 Highway 321 Oxford Junction. Mr. Boone, go ahead.
Thank you, your worship. This is a planning file that council's seen on 2 occasions already, first reading and at the public hearing stage. So we're bringing it back for council's final consideration and decision in the matter. So just bring reference back, this is a property that's just on the periphery of Oxford, but closer to Oxford Junction. The plan from the get-go was to only rezone a portion of the property, which is zoned agricultural, and it was to put it into rural industrial. And the reason we picked that zone, based on our policy and what's in place in our bylaw, excuse me, your worship, it was the most appropriate zoned for the potential use of the land. So the property was meant and is intended to be used for commercial trailer sales, but by definition, that falls under heavy equipment, both sales and maybe the storage and sales of parts as well. So the current zone, as I mentioned, is agricultural. The portion that would be rezoned has been based on a sketch that was given to us by the proponent, and it was based on some lands that were previously cleared in the area and have had some additional clearing done. Next slide, Peter, please. So just to put some perspective quickly, 399 is the home in which the proponent and applicant live. And you can see to the lower part of that air photo is an area that was originally cleared. Some additional work that's being done there in preparation for this business. You're not required to have a development permit to clear land, so they had done some work in advance. And you can see the homes that are in that area, your worship, as I mentioned back at the public hearing, you may recall, is most of the homes are well screened from this development or well set back from the road. map we like to share is just to show the change to the zoning as it occurs, so I've kind of described that previously, but just to ensure that council sees the differential, and these map changes are always attached to the bylaw that we send to municipal affairs for information. Some photos just to remind folks of the area. As I said, they'd start doing some clearing and to put in some security fence in advance of the business being set up and conducted on site. Financial implications, nothing direct to the municipality. The rezoned property will potentially be reassessed to commercial use from its agricultural designation, and this will likely result in some higher property tax revenue. PVSC will determine that. Environmental implications, as we mentioned before, the plan was just for a display area for these sales, and maybe a small storage building. No public washroom or washroom for staff was intended to be part of the initial development. Should the owner decide to do that in the future, they'll go through the process with Nova Scotia Environment for an on-site sewage disposal system. As mentioned before, we had community engagement on this project. Public hearing was held on September 17th. All the proper advertisement was done through the MGA. And at the time of that hearing, no representatives from the public had engaged the staff in advance, and we didn't have any public show up to speak on the matter. The applicants did show up and just told council they were comfortable with what was presented at the time. So, Your Worship, the recommendation is before you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boone. The recommended motion is the council approve second reading of the bylaw to amend the land use bylaw 25-10 to rezone a portion of PID number 25127630 located along Highway 321 in Oxford Junction from agricultural zone to the rural industrial zone. Somebody'd like to make that motion, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor Gould, seconded by Councillor Strong. Any comments or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Contrary minded? The motion is carried. Thank you very much. 5.3, first reading, Trails Designation Bylaw 25-11. Ally McCormick, Director of Recreation and Community Services. You now have the floor. Welcome, Ally.
Thank you, Your Worship. Included in your council package, you'll find the proposed road trails designation bylaw and 2 maps identifying proposed road trails in the communities of Spring Hill and Parrsboro. The road trails designation bylaw was introduced to council at the October 15th Committee of the Whole meeting. And as discussed, under the Province's Road Trails Act, municipalities have the authority to designate sections of municipally owned roads for off-highway vehicle use through a municipal bylaw. The proposed road trail designation bylaw would designate the following road sections for off-highway vehicle use. In the community of Parrsboro, it'd be Main Street from community boundary to Western Avenue, Eastern Avenue from community boundary to Main Street, and Spring Hill, Lagoon Road, entire length, McGee Street from Lagoon Road to Harrott Road, Lisgar Street from Lisgar Street Extension to Main Street, Main Street from Lisgar Street to Church Street, and Junction Road from Highway 142 to North Street. So I'm happy to answer any questions from council.
Thank you very much, Ally. The recommended motion is that council approve first reading of the Road Trails Designation Bylaw 25-11. Somebody'd like to make that motion. Moved by Councilor Lee, second by Councilor McCormick. Any conversation or discussion on this? Go ahead, Councilor Lockhart.
Coincidence, I think I was contacted by, I wrote his name down here, Russell, the new trail coordinator from Advance today, wondering how we were doing on this actual file, and I told him it was coming up this afternoon. So this is really good news and really welcome news in our community. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Councilor Strong, go ahead.
I also talked to him a couple of days ago. He's really gung-ho about this, so Advance is hot on the trail of new and better opportunities.
Awesome.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Anyone else?
I haven't talked.
I think I just had a call from him. Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Contrary minded? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Before we move to 5.4, I've been a bit remiss this afternoon that I did not acknowledge a special guest, Jason Hahn, our municipal advisor, is in the audience today again, and we thank him for his interest in our council and the comings and goings in Cumberland County, and look forward to, now that he's back on both feet, being a regular visitor here on a steady basis. Thank you very much for coming today, Jason. 5.4, fees policy. I was wondering why you were still sitting there. Now we know the answer.
You'll have to ask me to
Oh,
leave.
you're gonna be here for a while yet, okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Okay, we've turned over the Glenn Show to the Ally Show.
Yeah.
Fees policy, Ally, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. Included in your council package, you'll find the proposed amendments to the fees policy. These fees policy amendments were presented at the October 15th Committee of the Whole meeting. And as discussed at that meeting, the proposed amendments include recommendations from the administration, finance, public works, planning and development, and recreation and community services departments. If council has any questions about any of the proposed amendments, either myself or the directors would be happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you very much, Ally. Recommend a motion as the council approve the amended fees policy 18-12. Moved by Council McCormick, seconded by Deputy Mayor Gould. Any questions or comments on this from anyone? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. 5.5, ice allocation policy. Ally, away we go.
Thank you again, Your Worship. Including your council package are the proposed amendments to the ice allocation policy. The amendments to this policy, again, were presented to council at the October 15th Committee of the Whole meeting. And as discussed at that meeting, many of the proposed amendments are intended to just reflect our current operations and our current practice. The only substantive change involved strengthening the payment terms to ensure that invoices are being paid in a timely manner. Yeah, happy to answer any questions from council on this matter.
Thank you very much, Ally. The recommended motion is the council approve the amended ice allocation policy 20-06. Somebody like to make, moved by Councilor Evans, seconded by Councilor Fromm. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? The motion is carried. Thank you very much, Ally.
Thank you.
Business issues, 6.1, grant request, Pugwash Legion. Mr. McCracken, our Deputy CAO, will lead us in this item. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Your Worship. I believe we're on page 74 of our package tonight. We received a funding request from the Pugwash Legion Peace Branch 60 for an amount of $11,000 to help with renovations to improve food safety standards in their kitchen. A detailed list of items was in their attached application, which was reviewed, or able to be reviewed by council at the previous Committee of the Whole meeting. If approved, $11,000 will be allocated from the county general grants budget. There's currently a $24,000 balance in that, so. Otherwise, there's a recommended motion in your package.
Thank you very much, Mr. McCracken. The recommended motion is that council approve the fund request for $11,000 from the Pugwash Legion. If somebody would like to make that motion. Moved by Councilor Telling, seconded by Councilor Redmond. Any conversation or discussion? Councilor Redmond, go ahead.
I just want to say how pleased I am that we are supporting the Legion. For quite a few years, they haven't been able to do fundraisers that included food using the kitchen, and we all know how the Legions are suffering. So this really is going to improve their revenue.
Perfect. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Councilor Telling, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship, and I would just like to add, we're hoping, I've spoke to the Legion, they are hoping to have the renovations done before Christmas, so you can all come to the Christmas community meal there if it happens, if we get it done, so.
Good.
Thank you.
Awesome. Look forward to it. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Hearing no one, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Thank you very much, Mr. Kraken, on that. 6.2, Christie Smith Community Fund Grant Facilitation Request regarding the Westcom Amateur Radio Club.
Thank you, Your Worship. The municipality received a request to serve as a funding intermediary between the foundation and the club with a request for specifically $8,000. I got my glasses, so I'm like squinting here. $8,000 to be used for the purchase of their communications trailer. And as you know, and similar as in the past, we do this because the club cannot issue a charitable tax receipt to the foundation, which they like to have. So we do that on behalf. We receive the money and then allocate the money to the club. Other than that, there's a recommended motion in your package.
Thank you very much, Mr. McCracken. The recommended motion is that council approve the request to receive $8,000 from the Christie Smith Community Foundation and to disperse the funds to the Westcom Amateur Radio Club. If somebody'd like to make the motion, moved by Councillor Lee, seconded by Councillor Strong. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Thank you very much, Peter. 6.3, Equity and Diversity Plan. Mr. McCracken, you'll lead us through this.
Thank you again, Your Worship. The Dismantling Racism and Hate Act requires prescribed public bodies, such as municipalities, to develop and implement plans to support the goals of that act. The act requires prescribed bodies to appoint an advisory committee, which we have, and develop an equity and diversity plan, and update that plan every 3 years. Happy to say that our original plan was presented to council at the Committee of the Whole meeting 2 weeks ago, and there's a copy in your package as well. And it's the plan is broken down into 3 core areas around programs and services, human resources, and administration, as well as leadership and decision-making. And there's a recommended motion in your package, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. McCracken. Recommended motion is that council receive the Equity and Diversity Plan. Somebody'd like to make that motion? Moved by Councillor Telling, seconded by Councillor Fromm. Anyone have any comments or on this one? Seeing none, call for the vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Thank you very much, Mr. McCracken. 6.4, Fire Protection Services Agreement with the Town of Oxford. I understand that our CAO will be leading us with us on this one today, as Alan is off at the moment, so go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. Director Alan Cole, who did a lot of work on this file, is off on medical leave, and we wish him well, and hope that he'll be back in action here in a week or week and a half, so that's good news. So the item is the agreement with, the fire service agreement with the Town of Oxford, and like many of these other issues, this agreement has been reviewed at Committee of the Whole, and so it's council is familiar with it. It's a 2-year agreement, effective April 1st, 2025, so it'll expire in a couple of years. And the services aren't changing. The boundary of service areas are not changing. The total amount of consideration to be paid by the county to the Town of Oxford is $120,000 a year, broken out as $75,000 for operating costs and $45,000 for capital costs. And so there's a requirement in the agreement which requires the Town of Oxford to spend $45,000 of this money only on capital items, or to place it in a capital reserve only for fire capital. The increase seems significant, 120 from about a little bit less than $70,000, so that's a significant increase. But in the past, the county has actually provided rolling stock, a fire truck, to the Town of Oxford, and we're not doing that now. So this is a short-term deal, and it allows us to continue to have conversations with Oxford about the future, the fire service. There are probably some significant changes coming in the fire service with the provincial review ongoing and that sort of thing. So the short-term deal sort of reduces the risk for both parties. I will say, I will say that we had a long negotiation for this agreement, but it was very respectful and very productive. And so I want to thank CAO Linda Cloney in Oxford, and the Fire Chief Bruce Rushton, and the Director of Protective Services here, Alan Cole, who were all part of the process. So, Your Worship, the recommendation is in the package, but it is simply to approve the agreement.
Thank you very much, Greg. Recommended motion is the council approve the proposed agreement between the municipality of the County of Cumberland and the Town of Oxford for the provision of fire protection services, and authorize the mayor and CAO to execute the agreement. If somebody would like to make a move, by Councillor McCormick, seconded by Councillor Redmond. Any comments or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Thank you very much, Greg. 6.5, Deputy Mayor Election. Peter McCracken will lead us through this one. And now I have to find my little piece of paper. Where did it go? Thank you. Oh, you have it over there.
Thank you, Worship. Just for council's knowledge, I'll do a review of the process, and then I'll hand it over to the chair for the election, which will be His Worship the Mayor. But this is per our deputy mayor policy. Every year we need to elect a deputy mayor before October 31st. So that's why we're here to have the election this evening. The term of the deputy mayor is for a year, and it begins at the next regular council meeting after the 31st, so that'll be sometime in November. The chair, the mayor, will call for nominations, and nominations come from any councillor. They don't require a seconder, so one person can nominate somebody. Each nominee will then, when you're nominated, if you're nominated, you'll consent to the nomination. And then once the nomination, doesn't seem to be any more nominations coming, the mayor will ask 3 times if there's any other nominations, and then we'll close the nomination window. In the event that there's only one person nominated, there'll be a motion to have that person recommended to become deputy mayor. If 2 or more are nominated, we'll get out our ballots, and each candidate will have up to 10 minutes to address council and say why they want or think they should be deputy mayor. Then you'll nominate scrutineers, so people to sort of run the election process. So Amanda and I will hopefully be nominated as scrutineers and to verify the vote. We'll distribute ballots, we'll collect them, tally them, provide the results to the mayor, and if there's no tie, a deputy mayor will be elected then, or announced then. If there happens to be a tie, I don't think there should be because there's 9 folks in the room, there are some things in our deputy mayor policy that we do to address those as well. Otherwise, I'll hand it over to His Worship to get the ball rolling.
Thank you very much. And I just said to Greg before the meeting today, I do not recall doing this last year at all. So, and I'm looking at this list of 13 or 14 items here, and I'm thinking, my goodness, I'll have to stumble my way through the whole mess. So. What's that?
Maybe he's not the deputy mayor after all.
Oh.
He didn't have an election.
Well, there's that too, you know. There's a record of it somewhere, trust me, just because I can't remember it. So I'll now call for nominations, and note that nominations can come from any councillor and do not require a seconder. So if anybody would like to nominate someone, please raise your hand and let's get at it. Go ahead, Councillor Lee.
Your Worship, thank you. I would like to nominate Councillor Strong, please.
Okay, good. Now I have to ask, Councillor Strong, will you accept the nomination?
I will.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councillor Lockhart. Yeah, as soon as it turns red, you should be good.
Stop pressing.
Okay, sorry.
Technical difficulties here with the presser.
Not a good start here. I'd like to nominate Councillor Fred Gould.
Councillor Gould, will you accept the nomination?
I will, thank you.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Going twice. Are there any other nominations? Going 3 times. Okay, we're done. Nominations are now closed. We skipped number 6 because that says if only one person is nominated, so I'm guessing that doesn't apply anymore. Each candidate is now allowed up to 10 minutes to address council. Does anyone, either of the 2 candidates, want to address council?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to start out by thanking council for giving me the opportunity to be deputy mayor this last full year, and it was a little bit new, definitely to me, because it's the first time that I wasn't working full-time, so that I had the time to commit to the job, and I did enjoy it, but it was the first year of a 4-year term for some new councillors and some of repeating councillors, and it was first year is a get your feet wet year, especially I remember when my first year first year as a councillor, I thought I had all the answers, but I soon found out I didn't. So it's the first year is kind of just getting a little bit of wind behind your sails And I think we're there. I think we're moving along pretty good there now, and I think we've got our sights set on some goals. So I'd certainly would entertain the opportunity if it was given to me by council to serve another term and continue on with the path that we have going forward. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gould. Councillor Strong.
Your Worship, CAO, Council, esteemed guests, thank you for the nomination for Deputy Mayor. I'd like to commend Deputy Mayor Gould for his willingness to step up for another term. However, the term for Deputy Mayor is 1 year, paving the way for other council to have an opportunity to learn and grow if they choose. I choose. When I started this journey several years ago to seek a position on council, I made a commitment to serve Cumberland County and my district to the fullest extent. Would there be challenges? Yes, as we all well know over this past year, and we've had several. This council is strong as individuals and as a collective. Guidance from staff who have been gracious and patient with me over the past year has been invaluable, and I thank them all. I was once the person writing policy, preparing for licensing reviews and bylaw reviews on a much smaller scale, not simple tasks. This past year has solidified my intent to learn the intricate facets of municipal responsibility. Deputy Mayor is a perfect avenue to gain knowledge, connecting me with our county as a whole. Engagement with all districts to empower the whole of Cumberland County. Challenge equals motivation. I embrace challenge. If council choose, I would be honored to represent them in Cumberland County as Deputy Mayor. I will close with a quote from George Bernard Shaw. Progress is impossible without change, and those that cannot change their minds cannot change anything. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Strong. We will now need a motion to prepare, collect, and count the ballots, and that motion will be that Peter McCracken and Amanda Kinnear be appointed as scrutineers to verify the vote. If somebody be so kind as to make that. Moved by Councillor Redmond, seconded by Councillor O'Telling. Do we need a vote on that, or no?
Yes, you need to appoint Peter and Amanda.
I just said that, yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes, okay, so all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, I'm guessing there are none. Okay, now we're good to go. So we do have our scrutineers, and what will happen, ballots will now be distributed to council members for voting, and Peter and Amanda will collect them and tally them confidentially. If it's a tie, we will address this accordingly to the process in the deputy mayor policy. I can't, for the life of me, see, I only get one vote. Everybody else did too, right? So there's 9, so there's no way for there to be a tie that I can imagine. Otherwise, the name of the elected nominee will be shared with the mayor, who will announce the results and call for a motion to elect the successful candidate. So that's where we're at. Fold them up. I saw Greg writing. I thought he was voting. I was like, wait a minute. What's happening here?
Oh, I don't want any part of that.
Now, do we sit and wait? There you go. Sit and wait. Always wonder if I'm in trouble when I see him sitting there making all kinds of very serious notes about something. Maybe that too. What do you have for supper, Greg? Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, I'm
No,
just out at McDonald's.
No, cheap days tomorrow, isn't it, McDonald's?
No,
I was talking to our CAO on Saturday from Toronto, and I jokingly about the ball game tickets, and he said to me, well, you know, if the Toronto Maple Leafs were in the playoffs, I would pay $2,000 for a ticket. And I said to him, Greg, you're never going to live that long. Had to give it back to you.
Spoken like
It's
a
all good.
non-Leafs fan.
What's that?
That's
I
good.
know.
That's okay. We're not saying anything we're not supposed to say, so. Just killing time waiting for the vote. What's that you're reading? Is that the Shoreline one? Okay, the results are in. The results are that Councillor Gould will be the deputy mayor again for the following year, for the next year. I'd like to have a motion that Councillor Gould become the deputy mayor at the beginning of the first regular council meeting in November. Moved by Councillor Lockhart, seconded by Councillor Hotelling. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Thank you very much. Now I'll ask for the scrutineers to destroy the ballots. So we need a motion that council authorize the clerk to destroy the ballots. Moved by Councillor Lee, seconded by Councillor Strong. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, the motion is carried. Thank you very much. And thank you very much to both candidates for expressing an interest in doing this. I was a little unclear why two people would want to hang out with me for a year, but and the foolishness that goes with being part of that process. But thank you very much for volunteering for the job. So appreciate it. I need my agenda back there, Mr. Herrick. Is that mine? Where'd mine go? Oh, Amanda has it way over here. There we go.
That's mine, but you can
No, that's mine. Oh, that's yours. Where did mine go?
Right here.
Thank you very much. We'll get her back in action here in a minute. Just bear with us, please. 7.00 information items is Spring Hill Post Office. Mr. Herrick.
Thanks, Your Worship. Just a bit of an information item. The Canada Post building in Spring Hill has been closed due to, we understand, a significant flood. And this has led to an arrangement whereby residents of Spring Hill who receive their mail at that location, in the lockbox lobby at that location, are required now to travel to Amherst to get their mail. So lots of conversation in the community. I just wanted to be clear from the municipality's point of view that we have offered Canada Post some surplus space in the administrative building in Spring Hill, the former town hall across from Tim Hortons, and we have had a couple of conversations with Canada Post. Those aren't concluded yet, and we do expect to hear back from them, but we are actively in the process of offering that space and continuing to have conversations with them. So they asked for more information, we've provided that, and we expect to hear back from them. So hopefully there's a resolution to the issue, but we wanted to ensure that folks knew that we are actively participating to try to solve the problem. So happy to answer any questions.
Awesome. Anyone have any questions or comments on that? Councillor Lockhart, go ahead.
Today, actually, I went to the post office in Amherst, and there was quite a lineup, mostly everyone from all Spring Hill. They do have Spring Hill staff working there, and I was there for probably 20-plus minutes, which I didn't really plan on being, and there was some people, and I did have one wrong letter in the letters that I received, so I posted back. But I really, really hope that Canada Post comes around to take this offer, because it's a really big inconvenience for people in Spring Hill, especially elderly people. And just for people knowing that haven't gone there, if this is public, is that they will give you the box number. So if you show your ID and you've got box whatever, they will give you the full contents. If your wife's in there, your aunt or anybody else, you will get that content. So I found that out today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Lockhart. Yeah, and Spring Hill is all boxes, no door-to-door delivery, so it makes the situation even more aggravating, to say the least. So hopefully they'll work with us or someone else close by in the community to get it resolved very quickly, because it appears though the post office will be out of commission for an extended period of time, from what I'm hearing. So 7.1, council recognition. 7.11, Councillor Lockhart, go ahead.
There, we're on. Yes, I'd like to recognize the Cobequid Off-Highway Vehicle Club for hosting the 2025 ATV Jamboree for Nova Scotia. I actually attended myself. There was a huge crowd of people on a rainy, wet Saturday, and it was a great day, and a good cross-section of people from all over the province attend, so really good for our county and our community. So I'd like to congratulate them. And also on the same weekend was the CCMHA Blue Nose Hockey Tournament held in Spring Hill with up to 40 teams from all over Atlantic Canada, and it was down, give a certificate to one of the organizers, and it was the arena was buzzing, the canteen was buzzing, and everything else in town was buzzing. So we welcome that kind of business to show some Spring Hill hospitality. congratulations, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councilor Lockhart. 7.12, Councilor Strong.
Yes, I was happy to ask to recognize Clara Field from Diligent River on her 90th birthday this past week. She was a lovely lady. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 7.1.3, Councilor Redmond.
I'd like to take the opportunity to let, the Westchester Fire Department started a fundraiser to obtain a rescue side-by-side. And Sutherland Lake Trail Groomers Association put on an auction and a dance, I believe, and raised $45,000 for the Westchester Volunteer Fire Department to go towards their side-by-side. So they have exceeded the amount that they need. I just want to say thank you to Westchester for always thinking about the community and the people that come into the community. And Sutherland Lake President Gordon Ryan and his crew for spearheading this. It was really great to see the presentation on Saturday and seeing all these different communities coming together as one.
Great, thank you very
And
much.
go Jays, go!
Thank you very much, Councilor Redmond. If I could have a motion to adjourn, that would be good. Moved by Deputy Mayor Gould, we're now adjourned. Thank you very much. Oop.